Hello, Texas. Don't turn that dial. This is the Fly Mackey Show, and I'm your host, Fly Mackey. What an exciting day today. I can't see out of my glasses at all, or the picture on here is not that good. Why is that? It's the camera. The background looks good, but the camera doesn't look good. I don't know why that is. It might be because I messed it up. I don't know. I don't know if that's any better. That's not any better. Let's let's add. I may have to go to another camera. I may. Hold on a second. Oh yeah, there it is. That's the reason. Okay. Calm down. All right. Holy cow. Are we live? Let me check one of my other. Don't go nowhere. Oh, and there we are. Holy cow. Can you believe it? Don't go nowhere. I'm going live right now. I'm going live right now for the next hour. Okay. I think that's pretty good right there. It's a lot of work doing this stuff. Anyway, it's a little late. Normally I wear a blazer. You guys know I love to wear blazers. I love to wear my jackets to go along with, you know, my outfit. The reason I had the picture up behind here tonight is because, um, a couple of days ago, and that's this week, a couple of days ago, the NASDAQ. I am going to, don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. Okay. All right. Give me just a second. That's who I was with all day. These guys right here. Leave me on till 1 a.m. If I get cut off, I'll get on my software. I don't know why the picture looks like it does. It's not a clear picture on TV tonight. Why is that? Hold on a second. And that's much better. Hallelujah. Thank you, baby Jesus. No makeup. No makeup. My hair's not done. Normally, I like to wear a blazer. You guys know that. I look a little greasy tonight. You know, they said that old Indian looks like you need some makeup on. Oh, boy. I can't believe we get to do this stuff. It just blows my mind. The reason I have this picture on behind me is because a couple of days ago, the NASDAQ lost $1.4 trillion in one day. Just to go to show you, the amount of money that's in the NASDAQ. Okay. And that was one thousandth of the value of the market cap, which goes to show you, if you do the math on that, that 1,000 trillion equals $1 quadrillion. That's $1,000 trillion. Okay. And one of the reasons that we know this is because the last administration, or that president, all he talked about was money, 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 how much money there was in the world. So he started exposing how it's not a bad thing, how much money was actually out there. And realizing that, the central banks have been printing thousands of trillions of dollars, thousands of trillions of dollars, as we know that the central banks just here in the US has printed over $5,000 trillion just for Europe. Now just put that in. By the way, facts don't care about your feelings. This is not conspiracy or anything like that. The facts are out there. You can go do your own research on how much they printed and how much money is in Europe. Here they basically leverage 1 to 10, sometimes up to 1 to 20. For every dollar, they'll leverage 10 to 20. Well, in Europe, it's 40 to 60. Oh, yeah, they know how to spend money over there, but they have a lot of money in Europe to do that too. So anyway, that old money over there, thousands and thousands and thousands of years of money. And so when the NASDAQ, with this picture behind me, just the other day lost a little over $1 trillion in one day, that's nothing. It didn't even affect the market. Like nobody noticed that $1 trillion was wiped out. You see NVIDIA right behind me. I was with a guy today who works there, and I don't know how NVIDIA did so good because this guy was a moron. I'm not putting him down. Maybe I am a little bit, but geez, he had a Hummer in his. He couldn't make a decision on an $80,000 roof that we were talking about, 82,000. So we pre-priced it before we went. Just to let you know, I was out with a company today who goes above and beyond. These guys, Jose Camacho and his crew, these guys are probably one of the better companies that I've had a chance to meet over the last several years. They're a small company, but the way they run their operation and how they're scaling themselves, is first class. Anyway, And I don't know if you have to be first class to scale a business, but they're doing some things that are really working right. And I think the way they treat their customers and the way they do their business, from what I can tell, is really, white glove treatment. Okay. So anyway, I'm out with this company today, and we're doing a bid. And I get up on this roof. I'm 62 years old, but I did it. I got up on the roof, got up in the attic, and then I told him when we got there, when you invite somebody to your house, treat them nicely. Remember, they're there to, if you have a financial advisor come there, treat them nicely because you asked them to come. Maybe they called you, but either way, you let them come into your house. They're there to sell you something, they're there to do business with you. And for you not to do any business with, that's why you're broke and stupid, most people. And seriously, seriously. So I was talking to this guy today. I'm going to take this picture down in a second. I'm going to write on the board here behind me. But what happens is, I'm going to put that right there, right there. So what happens is, um, you know, when you own a house, you have the ability to become your own banker. And we've been doing this. Listen, I learned it too a couple of years ago. I kind of stumbled across it, and then the next thing but I'm a lay down buyer. So if I invite you into my house, I'm buying something from you. That's why you're there, because my time is valuable, and I'm not trying to waste my time. And I've done my research already. The person who invites somebody in their house that doesn't do the research, now this guy had already done the research. He knew who we were. He knew who this company was, and he said, "I'm wanting to buy a roof." But we get there, and then what happens is subliminally in the back of our mind, we turn these knobs, we turn these switches on. We don't mean to, but I think he was drinking too a little bit. Never going to an appointment when somebody's drinking. But we don't mean to, but we just start saying these things that make no sense or have nothing to do with the business at hand. Like, I'm not buying, like, I'm not doing it. I had to talk to my wife. He had a Hummer, one of the newer Hummers, which is a piece of junk. Anybody know? I got an old Hummer. We have an old one. Okay, it's about 20 years old. That thing is one. It's wider, and it's a real Hummer. The new Hummers aren't real Hummers. It's a knockoff version. They cost more, but it's a piece of junk. And he had a piece of junk that I guarantee he spent $90,000 for minimum, and he was complaining about an $80,000 roof. Now, when I went out there, this guy, and I'll just kind of go down to the negotiations. There's a reason for this, because I want to teach you tonight some things about negotiating and how you can take advantage when somebody comes into your house. Sorry, I got something in my ear. I think it's a bug. How you can take advantage of their services when they're offering them to you. A lot of folks just don't take advantage of the service. Like, seriously, this company is one of the few companies in this area of Phoenix, Arizona, and we're going to take a model of this type business to Houston. So you guys here in Houston, Corpus Christi, College Station, Beaumont, Texas, and Lake Charles, Louisiana, all places with a lot of beautiful homes. Okay. And we're going to bring a model like this down here to this territory down here in Texas and Louisiana and all across the country. Really, we plan on taking it all across the country. And it's not my business, but I kind of want to be a part of it. Okay. I want to put these guys out there on TV and stuff like that. So anyway, there's a lot of companies I want to be a part of, like the Porter Brothers, who do the merch, the crypto. And then we're just now partnering with one of our other junior partners that does the merchant processing. That's a nice business. Okay. Let me just say that is a great business to be in. And we're about there to get into that business. Matter of fact, we're buying a couple of businesses. And it's a really great, strong business model to be in because it's the money business. Whenever money trades hands, people get paid. So you want to be in the money business. And here's another tip for you, and then I'll get back to the roofing, this customer, and I'm going to give you some examples of what this customer could have done and what you can do to take advantage of the services available when somebody comes and knocks on your door or comes into your house when you invite them, and then they have a service that you need. Okay, and so there's other companies besides the merchant, like the credit. We teach people about credit and doing velocity banking and how to become your own banker. Anybody can become their own banker. Anybody. And we're pretty new at this. We're getting into the consulting side of this business, and we're babies at it, but we're pretty good at it. Okay, and then getting the business credit, we're really good at that. Really, really, really good at that. So if you're looking, so when somebody comes to your house, they usually come with a pretty specific, detailed agenda, and they're usually going to take a tour of your property, whatever they're looking for. If they're doing the bathroom, they're going to go do an inspection on that bathroom. If they're doing a foundation, they're going to have to do a real thorough search around the house and try to get under the house if they can, to do their investigation. If it's a roof, they're going to have to get up in your roof and up in the attic. Okay, and when you invite these folks out there, they're going to do their best to do the best inspection that they can, so afterwards they can sit down with you at your table and go over the results of the inspection. And then when they do that, by the way, you got to understand something. These folks spend a lot of resources to do the best, like licensed, bonded, insured. They send their reps to get manufactured certified, like their installers, companies like this. And when they send people out there, you're paying for that skill. Just to let you know, we had a manufacturer. I was in a meeting, and one of the reps from the manufacturer was saying 99% of all the failures that are done with their products is because the contractors, doesn't mean they're bad people, just means they didn't know how to apply the product, and so it failed. And then the folks are looking for the manufacturer to warranty it, and they're going to go, no, we're not going to warranty that product. Yes, we have a warranty on the product, but we're not going to put a warranty. We're not going to honor that warranty because your installer may or may not have been licensed, bonded, insured, and certified. If they're not certified from the manufacturer, it's a guarantee. You might as well take it to the bank that they are not going to honor that warranty. That's just the way it works. Hold on one second. Don't go nowhere. Okay. All right, there you go. All right, so let's take a break for a second, just 30 seconds. Don't go nowhere. We'll be back. Don't drink soda pop. It'll make you fat. But I sure love it. I'm giving Dr. Pepper we're doing a plug for Dr. Pepper. Not really. I just happen to drink one tonight, okay? So once again, I'm going to talk a little bit about what it's like when a company comes to your house, no matter who it is. But once again, this picture behind me here was on Monday. It may have been Friday of last week, where the NASDAQ had lost $1 trillion in market cap in one day. Did it make the news? No. Did it affect the economy? No. Did anybody get panicky? No. No. It was just another day in trading, and this happens all the time. The NASDAQ will lose $1 trillion or two, and then they'll make it back the next day. And so, just to put this in perspective, that was 0.1%. Yeah. Okay. Of the NASDAQ, of the market cap. And if you do the math on that, you take $1,000 trillion. That's 1,000 trillion. 1,000 trillion. Okay, is that market cap, and you're looking at $1 quadrillion. Now, last year in 2023, just to put this in perspective of how much money is out there, this is why when you have a product, guys and gals, you don't want to be cheap, number one, on your product, because there's a market out there for you at whatever price points that you want to be at. If you want to be the cheapest, okay. If you want to be the most expensive, okay. If you want to be in the middle, okay. There's a market for everybody, and there's a market for you out there, okay? So anyway, getting back to this, there's a company, and I will do a whole show on it. I've done lots of shows on this, that settles all the trades at the NASDAQ. And so Jane King, who's on our network here, does a show twice a week from the NASDAQ. Talks about all kinds of things like we're talking about, except she's an expert. Of course, the Porter brothers, you can see those guys in the morning. They're reporting out of Washington, D.C. as well, and they talk about crypto and all kinds of things that have to do with politics and stuff. They got a really popular show. Anyway, getting back to this, there's a third party within the NASDAQ. It is a company of the NASDAQ, actually, and we'll talk about them some other time, but I'm going to give you the 30,000 foot view, okay? This company does what's called settling. So when let's say I want to buy, you see Apple right above my head here, Apple. Let's say I want to buy a share of Apple, and it's $50, and let's say it's $50, whatever it is. Nvidia is 119. Let's use Nvidia, because this guy that I was at today was from Nvidia, right? So let's say that I'm buying one share of Nvidia at $119. Just so you know, I bought Nvidia at 18 cents. You have to take advantage when it's right there in front of you. Like, you don't have to think about these things. Like, if you need a new roof, like, you don't have to think about this. You have a $90,000 fake Hummer in your parking lot. That's $90,000 wasted. I used to drive a $90,000 Expedition. This thing was pimped out, man. It was sweet. Now I drive a 2005 van, so that my dog, because the air conditioner stays on. It's all vanity, guys. It's all vanity. So the next move I'm going to do is a motor home, a small one, like a 30-footer or something like that, right? But anyway, getting back to this, there's a company that settles the trade. So let's say I'm buying Nvidia here, and I'm buying $119 one share. This company takes the share from Nvidia, and then they transfer it to you if you're the buyer, and then they're going to take your money from wherever your Charles Schwab, Ameritrade, Scottrade, wherever it's coming from, whatever account you're buying out of, it's going to take that money and it's going to give it to Nvidia, and that's called settling. And there's a fee. that fee runs somewhere between $14 and $54. That's the fee on every single trade. And this company reported that in 2022, they settled 2.26, you ready? Quadrillion dollars. A quadrillion, once again, is 1,000 trillion. So they settled 2,000 trillion, 260 $2,260 trillion dollars they settled in 2022 in trades on the NASDAQ. That's how much money there is. So when it comes to products and your services, don't be afraid to charge for your services. That's all I'm trying to say. If you have a bicycle shop, trade the value of your service. Okay. Anyway, I love this stuff. I was talking to a buddy of mine today who has a remodeling company in Phoenix, not the one that I'm associated with now, but a different one. And they were talking about their price points and how much they charge. And I worked with a company a couple of years ago, and we sold a few $1,000,000 for them, and they were selling at 1,800 to 2,200 a square. Now, we're going to get back to the roofs now, but before I get deep into that, I just want to tell you once again about the NASDAQ here. There is so much money out there, okay? And when you learn how to do the same thing that the NASDAQ does, that this other company that works for them, how they settle things, when you learn to do the same thing that the banks do, like Chase Bank, Wells Fargo, any local bank in your city or state, you can do the same thing. You do not have to have anything special. You can do the same type strategies and services for yourself that the banks do. Okay. And once again, I didn't make this stuff up. I'm not a billionaire. I should be, for sure. Should be one for sure. But that's another story. Anyway, you can do these same strategies that the banks do. And they're not going to care because you're a nobody and I'm a nobody. I'm not trying to offend you, but you get my point, right? Like, we're not even, they don't even know who we are. And there could be 1,000,000 of us out there doing it, and they would not be affected by it. Matter of fact, they would be on your side because they would jump in and want to help you with your services. That's the banks, all they care about is making money, and how do they get to make the money, right? Even though you learn how to become your own banker, they're going to help facilitate you all along the way. Isn't that crazy? Okay. So anyway, we're going to get back to that in a second, but this company was selling services at $1,800 to $2,200 a square. Okay. And I jump. Yes. My niece is, they know I'm on TV. I'm doing a TV show for the next hour and a half. I love it. Kids and grandkids, they always call, they say, Grandpa, they know I'm on TV or whatever. They know I'm working. They say, Grandpa, I'm like, I'm on TV, right? I'm working. They don't care. All right. So I was working with a roofing company. There's only a few of these roofers, and I'm just talking about in Phoenix now, okay? There's 1,800 roofers in Phoenix, 1,800, okay? And I'm sure the majority of them are fantastic, but there's only a handful, less than this many, put my 5 fingers up, less than that many that are licensed, bonded, insured, and that are manufacturer installers. Just a handful. That's okay. Nothing against any of the other ones. But there's one company that I had the pleasure to work with. They were 1,800 to 2,200 a square. Let's split that down the middle at $2,000 a square, okay? $2,000. And if you have the average home is 30 squares. You multiply that out, that's $60,000 a roof. Okay? Depending on what kind of roof they got. Now the average sale for this company in roofs that I was associated with was about 48,000. So they were getting a medium product, right? 48,000 was a little bit less than the 60. But once again, that's what roofs cost when you have and I'm just talking about remodeling. My buddy does kitchen and bath. They do a combination of kitchen and bath. It's a 3-day kitchen and bath, and these things cost $40,000 to $100,000. Bam! But in 3 days, and they make you move out. They make you move out, go to a hotel, and I think they even pay for the hotel. But they make you move out for 3 days. They go in there and smash everything up and put it all together. In 3 days, you have a brand new kitchen and a brand new bathroom. It is amazing what they do with that service. But anyway, and it ain't cheap. No. And so, but people don't want to pay for their roofs, but it's weird. I'm not putting down anybody. I'm just going through a little bit of a talk today, okay? And then I'm going to talk a little bit about how to pay for these if you're a homeowner based on, now this guy today that I was dealing with, I think he might have been drinking a little bit. I'm not mad at the guy, but some of the things he was saying didn't make sense. And we're going to go over some things that customers will say to you, okay? But anyway, getting back to what the prices are on some of these companies, you pay for the service you get, right? Yeah, that's the way it works. And so every once in a while, I want a one-man band who is not licensed, he's not bonded, he's not insured. I know he's going to do a pretty good job. I'm taking a risk, but I know he's going to do a good job, right? At least I think he is. I think so. Anyway, and more times than not, they're going to do a great job, right? But if you want the warranties, which every once in a while I do, because we had an electrician came the other day. This guy charged me a trip charge to come out, and then, but he didn't charge me for the service. He did. No, he said I was there 10 minutes. I fixed your problem in 10 minutes. He goes, but I'm not going to charge you, but there is a trip charge. So he charged me for the trip charge. It was well worth it. But depending on who you're hiring, you may want them to put a little warranty on it, right? Yeah. Especially like your AC and your roof and stuff like that. Okay. So anyway, I'm going to talk a little bit of strategy of how you can pay for these roofs. I'm going to, hold on a second. Let's see. I'm going to cut my picture. Don't go nowhere. It's going to be a lot of fun. There we go. Just bring this a little closer. Right here. I think I have. I hope this pen lasts. Okay. So this is my grandma's room, and we're videoing. I'm broadcasting live, Texas and Louisiana, out of my grandmother's room here on the reservation. I got problems. Don't worry about it though. It's all good, okay? This house had 61 squares. Okay? And the price I gave them was $82,000. Now the reason I gave him that price is because another company had come out there and said that he had 77 squares. Well, we took a satellite view, and when I was talking to them, he said, well, the satellite view told us he only had 61. Okay, so let's do the math on this. Let's do the math on this, on the 61 squares. And by the way, I added a little bit to this. It's really closer to 70. Okay, but because of the extra squares that the other guy said, I added to the price. And I told him that's what I was doing. But at 82,000, that way I wanted to match the other guy's square, right? 82,000 divided by 61 was $1,344 a square. Okay, a square, $1,344 a square. That's what that came to, and so which is a pretty good price. Okay, since the other companies around are charging $1,800 a square. So $1,344, yeah, a square wasn't too bad. All right, now we did give them an opportunity to buy a different one at a little bit lesser price, but that was a good price right there. Now let me show you how to pay for this if you're a homeowner. Okay, so you have $82,000. He had $1 million home, $1 million. Okay, and he borrowed. He didn't get a HELOC because I asked him, did you get a HELOC? Did you get a home equity line of credit? That's a home equity line of credit, a HELOC, or did you get a PLOC, a personal line of credit? And he said no, that he just went out and got a small loan. He got a loan for $30,000. Okay, at 6.1%. Okay, he got a loan. Okay. So I asked him, I said, why would you take a loan when you could get a line of credit on the house? And he goes, because I'm not stupid. That's what he said. I'm not stupid. And of course, nobody lives in $1 million house, but the house wasn't paid for. Okay. And he's in his 60s and he's trying to retire, but he lives on cash. And him and his wife are still working, and they're working in separate states. But this is what happens when you live on cash, because you'll never catch up when you're living on cash unless you have tens of millions of dollars, and then you have that cash reserve. Now, Dave Ramsey teaches about the cash all the time, and only to do cash, and that you're stupid if you do credit. And I know Dave, great guy. Matter of fact, there's a network that is trying to recruit Smart Money Culture, my TV network, and me specifically, to their network to do a show on 103 stations, the same network that Dave Ramsey is on. Okay, now because I do credit and Dave hates credit, they say you can't do credit, but we want you to do a crypto show. I'm like, well, we ought to do a remodel show. That's what we ought to do, and have the real estate and have some fun at that. But anyway, we're going to probably do a crypto show on there. But Dave said, and he talked about me on one of his shows, saying how stupid it was to do the credit. Okay, which is totally cool. But once again, if you do credit, and inflation has gone up 300% in the last 3.5, almost 4 years. So it's difficult to do a credit scenario. It's not that it can't be done. It's just more difficult than it used to be. And so when the banks offer you credit, and here's your house, okay, let's say this house is worth $1 million, because this guy's house was $1 million. Bam. $1 million. Okay. And he had 600,000 in equity, according to him, based on what we were talking, listening to these conversations. Okay. Listening to his conversation, this is what he had. He had 600. One of the engineers, Faith, Ricky, I don't know why that, well, now it looks better. know why my picture. I have a hard line right here. See my door? I painted the windows in Grandma's room. I know, don't look great. This isn't a $1 million house. It's an old HUD house here on the reservation. We love it though. It's Grandma's house. Anyway, so he had 600,000 in equity, and I said, why would you not take a loan from that, and excuse me, a line of credit, and get your roof for free? And let me show you how that is, because he said that he was going to pay this off, but his loan is at 6.1%. Okay, that's what he's paying on that, and we can do the math on that. This is going to be a lot of fun. Hold on, let me grab another. I'm going to grab the calculator. Um, it's a U.S. debt clock. Here it is. Hold on one second. I'm going to share this. We're going to share. Nope, not there. Share. Select this tab right here. Share. Okay. And all right. Here we go. Let's do this one right here. I'll put this on this side right here. Okay. All right. Now you see here, let's do a little bit of math, because I want to show you how crazy it is and how you can pay for your roofs, your bathroom remodels. Like if you have something that you want to add to your house, how easy it is to pay for and literally get it for free. Yeah, I know that's a strong statement, but it's not that hard. And once you grab the concept, now the people who make more money, it's harder for them to grasp this concept than it is for us broke, or people who don't people who don't have as much. Okay. All right, let's do the math on this, okay? Because he said he had 600. This is a guy in his 60s, by the way. If you're in your 60s, you're trying to retire and you have a $600,000 mortgage on the $1 million property, bro. And if you follow the math on how the economy has worked in the last 100 years, we have another 2 years of pretty good. Another 2 years of pretty good. And then it's going to dump. Okay. And these are statistics that have held true for over 100 years. And it's going to dump, and we're going to have a couple of years of really tough time. But those of you who have massive credit, not cash, because once you spend the cash, it's gone. But once you have the credit, those of you who have credit are going to be able to take advantage of massive amounts of opportunities. Like when the market crashed in 2008, people, my buddy and I bought a few myself, homes that were selling for $370,000, $75,000 in Las Vegas were being sold for $40,000 and $50,000. Yes, that happened. Okay. And it was insane, and it was a free for all. And man, I'm telling you, we were going nuts over that. Finally, I had to stop doing it because it was driving me insane. But we made a little bit of money on that. That was a pretty good time. And these times are coming again. They're telling us it's coming. So prepare for these things. Don't do it then because it's too late. Do it now. But let's get back to this right here. So this is how this guy and you too could pay for these roofs. By the way, that $82,000 is going to be nothing compared to what he's paying in interest. And let me show you. Okay. Here's the thing too. He told me he just refinanced again. So the banks, what happens is when you make your payments on time, the banks go, congratulations, you've done so good. Let's refinance you out, give you a little cash, and let's refinance and put you on that 30-year mortgage again. Now watch this. At his $600,000, it was a little bit more than that, but let me just leave it at 600,000, okay? At 30 years, God, this guy's in his 60s. There's no way he's going to make 30 years. Well, maybe he will. Sorry, dude. 6.1% interest. And he started in April 2024. Calculate this out. He's going to pay for his 600,000. Look at this. Are you looking at this? He's going to pay $1,308,949 for that house. Now watch this, because it's going to make total sense to you. I should have used a smaller house, but I was with this guy today, so I want to show this one. Okay. Now let's look at the interest. See here, the principal, interest, and then the balance. But let's look at the principal, the interest here. Over the next 30 years, he's going to, remember, it's only a $600,000 mortgage. He's going to pay $708,000 on this loan right here at 6.1. He's going to pay $708,949. That's what he's going to pay in interest. Okay. Now let me show you something, because you can tell if you own a home, then you could take that interest and you can front load it, which means you'll kill the interest, and you can spend that 700,000 on your investments or a roof or whatever you want to do on the property. It's so simple to do. Now it takes a little bit to wrap your mind around it, but once you learn this, here's a guy who made, now the mortgage payment on here, let's look at the payment on here. The payments on here is $3,636. Do you see that? $3,636. Now he started in April, which means just this year alone, from April to December, he's going to pay $24,000 in interest. So now I didn't bring this up to the guy because I'm not paid to go out there and teach him about velocity banking and how to become your banker. I was there to talk to him about, getting a service or remodel for his property. And I don't want to mix the two, because I was there for another reason, right? But I did ask him, why don't you use your HELOC and just pay for that $80,000 roof with your HELOC, and then just pay it back and save yourself all that money? Well, he wanted to pay cash. That's why he went out and got a loan for $30,000. Now remember this. Let me get back to this real quick. Let me get rid of this real quick. Okay, I'm going to hide that for just a second. Remember this: on a loan, okay, you make a payment into that loan, it is gone forever. You can't ask them to give you that money back. It goes in there and it's gone. But on a line of credit, and this is where you can explain this to your homeowners, especially when you have a good relationship with them, okay? Especially if you're dealing with homeowners associations and you're dealing with the people at the homeowners associations, because mainly they're paying for these services. But you can teach the homeowners associations of how these guys who own these homes in this association can get this service and literally get these things for free. Literally, because you're going to save on the interest. That right there, your line of credit. So when you make a deposit, let's say you deposit $1,000, I can borrow next day that $1,000. That's the difference between a line of credit and a loan. So I asked the guy, why don't you use your line of credit or your HELOC? And he said to me, why would I do something that stupid? Because he wasn't willing to even talk about it, and I wasn't there to try to teach him how to do that. I was there for another reason. I tried to do my best to stay on track, but the next logical response would be to him is because you can save some of that interest that you're paying and use that interest that you would have paid them to pay for your roof. So instead of paying them, how about pay yourself? And I'm going to show you how that scenario worked, because I was able to get some information out of him of how him and his wife got paid at $14,000 a month. Okay, and their bills only being $4,400 a month. So now I didn't sit and do a strategy once again for this because I was there for another reason. But this is something that you can take your customers down this trail. And if they're willing to walk down that trail with you and the lights turn on, not only are they going to give you the business for their property, but they're going to give you all kinds of referrals. All their friends are going to they're going to tell you about it. We just did a deal for a young fella, an older lady in her 70s there in Houston, and she told 3 people, and one of them happened to be two of them. One of them was really young. He was in his mid 30s. The other guy was in his early 40s, and and then the other guy was my age, same age as me. But the 3 men that this lady gave as a referral, all 3 of them said, yeah, let's do this. And I said, well, what talked you into it? And they said, because she did it. And that's the way referrals work. So when you do a good job for somebody, folks out there, especially in the remodel business or something like that, they're always going to tell their buddies. Okay, so let me show you how this works. Okay, so if they were to get, let's say, and this guy had an 800 credit score. So I was trying to walk him down the path of let's get you finance, let's do you some payment options, but he was having nothing of it. It's cash, 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 cash. But because he had another contractor come out there that told him that this was the price, that's what he was looking. He was looking for something that was not even on the radar, not even reasonable. Okay, but it's okay. It's okay. Not that these guys are lost, but they are, if they're not coachable and willing to partner with you, then what kind of client are you going to get, right? You got to be careful with those too, because those come back to bite you sometimes. But let's do the math on this. So $600,000. Let's say he got a first lien HELOC, and he took this $600,000 and he paid it off. Okay, paid, bam, done. He's done with it, and he takes his HELOC, and now he owes $600,000 in that HELOC. Now watch how this works. Okay, I may have to move this over. Matter of fact, 14,000, and then 4,400. This is why I kind of think I knew this guy may have been drinking a little bit today, because you'd ask him something and he would say it, and then he goes, "Oh shit, I can't believe I said that." Anyway, let me get that off of there right there. Hold on a second. I got crickets in the room. I got cricket. Okay, now watch this. This is, if he would have taken this, and anybody can do this, okay? That $600,000 and pay it off. That's a line of credit because he has $1 million in the house, okay? And before he refinanced, he had more. Now, he didn't tell me how much he had. He just said this. He just refinanced, and this is what it was, that he owed $600,000 on it, okay? So, he took something out of there because he had a brand new Hummer out. I mean, brand spanking new. That was a $90,000 piece of junk out there. But hey, if you like it, you like it. That's all that matters, right? Okay, so let's say $600,000. $600,000. that he owes on a HELOC or a line of credit, okay? So let's start with 0, okay? So what you would do was take this 14,000 and you would deposit it into the HELOC, which would immediately, on the very first month, would take that balance to $14,000. Now watch this, okay? Let's go down to the line of credit here, excuse me, the mortgage calculator. Let's calculate it out again. To knock $14,000 off this balance, let's do the math on this. That would, from 600,000, 687, that's almost 14,000 right there. It would take him a year and 587, which would be that would be $13,000, 13,400. So that's close to 14,000, $13,400. Okay, not quite 14,000, but let me just show you the math on this. In order for him to get down to 14,000 in principal off that mortgage, it would take him from April, so that's April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, 9 months plus 12. So this would take him 9 months plus 12. This would take him 21 months. Okay, you ready? 21 months of paying interest. Take the 36,000. Let's do the math on this. It's going to be really simple. 36,101 divided by 12 is 3,008 times 21. He's going to pay $63,176. Wait, no, that's not right. Sorry, I messed that up. 36,101 divided by 12 is $3,008, okay? And that's not going to be for 12 months. It's going to be a total of 21 months. So we're going to knock off 3 months of the 12, which would be 9, okay? So a total of times 9, 27,000. He's going to pay $27,075.75 plus 24,316 plus $24,316. Is there any? Let me take off that right there, okay? So he's going to pay 1,931. He's going to pay $51,391 in interest, which is going to take him 21 months to do before he's going to get to $14,000, 14,000 in equity off that principal, okay? By following this strategy that we teach here, by following this strategy. Now let me add it back on. Hold on a second. Okay. Now watch this. By following this strategy here, he's going to pay, you see that first from 2024, from April to December, $24,316. And then in 2025, he's going to pay 9 of those months. So take the 36,101, divide that by 12, and that gives you $3,001, 3,101, something like that, okay? $3,100 a month, multiply that by 9, and it gives you this number right here. If I can see it, gives you this number right here. 27,000 on the first month, first year. This year Next year, he's going to pay $24,316 in interest. It's going to be a total of $51,391 he's going to pay in interest before he gets that $14,000 in equity. Now, if he will follow the strategy that I'm showing you right here, watch how this works right here. The very first month, he's gonna save 51,000 minus 3. He's gonna, let's just do the math on that. 51,391 minus 3,100. We're just gonna go the max here. That is $48,200. $291. In the very first month, by doing this strategy that we teach, they're going to save themselves $48,291 in interest payment on the very first month. And these are the same strategies that the banks use when you put your money in their banks. Okay, we sign away our rights to the principal, and we sign away our rights to the interest. And anybody can do this. Now watch, because I'm going to show you how this works. So remember, he owes the mortgage, he paid off, but he still owes it in the HELOC. Now the HELOC is usually about 7%. Even if it was as high as 11% simple interest, it wouldn't matter. Even if it was 18 or 30% simple interest, it would not matter because of the massive amounts that you're paying down using this strategy. So he would take his deposit his whole check. I'll show you how it works. That's a deposit. And this is the borrow. He's going to borrow his bills back, okay, which is $4,400. So you subtract this, that's 600, and that's $9,600. So the very first month, he created $9,600 in credit into that HELOC that he can use anytime at his disposal. That's called cash flow. Isn't that something? Instead of spending all this money on interest, now he gets to pay himself back. So he literally is paying this interest to himself in a way. But he's going to eliminate by doing this strategy here, and we'll do the math on this here in a second. He's going to eliminate about $540,000. He's going to still pay about $160,000 or $180,000. I could be off. Maybe as high as, he's going to save himself $656,000. We just did one. The guy at $656,000. Oh yeah, $656,000. The guy was going to pay another. He's just on this right here. He's probably going to save himself about $540,000 in interest. We'll do that. We can do the math and go down the entire. But that's a lot of money. And what would you do if you had an extra $560,000? Now watch this. So the second month, he's going to put his check in, which is $14,000. Okay, which is going to take this to $623,000. Let's look at the. I know. Let's look at the math on this and see how long it would take him to get to 23,000. So 95 or 600,000 minus there's 21,000 right there. Okay, we'll do some more math on this here, but I just want to show you this stuff's incredible. I know it's incredible, but watch. So this is month one. Now he's gonna, this is deposit and this is out, $4,400. Okay, so this is gonna put matter. Remember what happens, right? So that gives them the balance higher, and then he's gonna borrow the money there, which is going to take it back down to 9,600. He's going to put the 14 in, which is going to make this. He's going to borrow this back, which is going to be 200. That's 13. That's 9. And that's a 1. Okay. So in month number 2, he's going to have $19,200 in credit that he's developed himself on that $600,000. Isn't that something? That's called cash flow. And this is what all the rich people do. This is what the banks do. But anyway, let's keep going. I just want to do a few more. This is month number 2. The next month, he's going to put 14,000, 0, 0, 2, 3. He's at 33,000. He's going to borrow back the bills. That 4,400 is his bills, because he no longer has a mortgage payment. He no longer has to pay that 3,300 in mortgage. And how I got the 4,400 was, that was how much his bills were after he paid the mortgage, which was about 3,300. Now, if it was, which would have been about 7,700 in bills, right? Which would have made this 14,000. It then made that a lot less, right? But this is under the assumption that he's going to get a HELOC and pay that off. Now I can do it the other way too, and we'll do that. We'll do those. You can practice on both scenarios. But 33,000, and then we're going to borrow back the 4,400. Okay, so we're borrowing it back. So that's 0, 0, 8. That's 12. That's 8, 2, 28,000. So in 3 months, he's going to have $28,800. I'm going to do a few more here, just to carry this out. And I just want to show you what this looks like and how you can pay off that roof. 28,000, okay? Can I do my camera a little bit lower? I think I can. Yeah. I'm going to show you how he's going to pay this roof off, and literally for free. You don't get it, do you? You don't have to be a rocket scientist to do this. I'm trying to explain. If you follow this strategy, that $80,000 roof or that $100,000 remodel or whatever you're doing, let's say you want to buy a car, a vehicle, and it costs you a whopping 90 grand, like my last Expedition. I like nice vehicles, by the way. I don't miss them. It's all vanity. Anyway, I'm going to show you how this guy and how you can pay for your things and literally no money out of pocket, because you're taking back all that interest that you would normally pay, that you freely give away to the banks. Isn't that crazy? 14,000. That's 0, 0, 8, 12, $42,000. He's got 42,000 in that HELOC when it was 0 just 4 months ago. He's going to subtract 4,400. That's in, that's out. So that's 400. That's 12. That's 8. $38,000. And now this is month. That's month 4. We're going to do month 5. Can you see one more down? Yeah, let's do one more down. Here's your deposit of 14,000. That's 400. That's 12. That's $52,000 in 4 months. Now, by the way, this guy, in between him and his wife, make $14,000 a year. Okay, And so, or excuse me, a month. That's some people say I don't make that a year. I paid myself last year about $15,000. Okay, it's all vanity. Okay, we did make a little bit more than that, but I'm just trying to say, this is what I paid myself. Okay, and then out of this 14,000, now he's going to borrow back 4,400. 0, 0, 0, 8, $48,000. So in 5 months, he's going to have $48,000. $48,000. You see this? That's a comma. He's going to have $48,000 in his line of credit that he can go spend for whatever he wants. All right. Which means it was 600,000. Now that's down to $552,000. Okay. All right. Now watch, because we're taking this down. Is he paying interest? Yes, he's going to pay a ton of interest, but he's going to save the majority of that $700,000. We'll do the math on it here just in a second. Let me see if I'm. All right. Well, I'm on commercial break in Houston, Corpus Christi, College Station. They're not seeing me right now because we're on commercial break. But you guys who are watching me on our website, we're going to keep going. Okay. Oh yeah, now we're back on TV again. I love that. See that when we're live in those cities, right? But we have commercial breaks, and but we keep streaming live, on the website. Anyway, all right. So now we have $552,000 from that 600,000. We have $48,000 in equity here. Okay. Now let's keep going. 48,000. $48,000, and we're going to add $14,000 to that. I think I'm going to be on for another 15 minutes, and then they're going to cut me off, and we're going to put Jack on. And I own the network, but listen, I got better guys on here than me. All right, talking about credit, velocity banking, and stuff like that. That's all from this. This was a clean shirt. Now look, I got stuff all over it. You put 14,000 in. Okay. 0, 0, 0, 12, $62,000. Then you borrow back. This is deposit. $4,400. 0, 0, 6, 11, 7, $57,000. Now let's put the 14,000 in one more time. 600, 11, that's $61,000. Okay, minus the 4,400. This is month number 6. This is month number 7. That's 0, 0, 2, 11, 7, $57,000. Now we're going to deposit in $14,000. That's 200. That's 11. That's $71,000. We're going to borrow back the $4,400. We're going to make it, or 4,400. So that's a 0, 0, 12. That's an 8. That makes that a 10. That makes that a 6. That makes that a 6. 68,000. This is month number 8. 66,800. We're going to put one more in. 14,000. That's 800. That's 10. That's $80,000. We're almost there. This is month number 80,000. Now we're going to borrow back the 4,400. which is 400. That makes that a 76,400. This is month number 9, right, man? Yeah, gotcha. Month number 9 right here. We're going to deposit the 14,000. Watch, we're almost there, guys. 400. That's $90,000. Watch this. We just did it. We're gonna borrow back the $4,400. That's 00068. It's gonna take him. It would have taken him, if following this strategy, it would have taken him 10 months. 10 months using this strategy here to get all that money back that he paid. If he would have used this strategy here and paid off his house, he'd have made that roof for free. It would have taken him 10 months to do it. He would have got it free because he saved all that in interest. You don't. Let me show you how putting in 10 months of doing this at 14,000. Let's do the math on this. This is going to blow you away. I got a couple of minutes. 14,000 times 10 is $140,000. Okay. Now take $140,000. Want to see something? It's going to blow you away. $140,000 off of this right here. Do you see this? Take 600,000 minus 140,000. That brings you to $460,000. Right here we are. Right here, $466,000. Right? Okay. Take $466,000. Okay. Now watch this. Watch this. You're going to take on, that's going to be year 1036. So we're going to take 28. I got a couple of minutes. We're going to get in just under the radar here. $28,925 plus $29,793 plus $30,610 plus $31,378 plus $32,102 plus $32,786 plus $33,423 plus $34,025 plus $34,593 plus $35,126 plus $35,628 plus $36,101 plus $24,316 equals. Do the math on that. $408 400 in interest. $418,000 in interest that he would save. $418,000 in interest that he would save using this strategy. He paid for that roof almost 6 times over. 4 times. 4 times 60 is what? Whatever that is. But anyway, I'm just trying to look at this. $418,000 in interest that they're going to save using this strategy right here. And it's going to take them 10 months to do it, to save that much interest. Yeah, this is real stuff. This is real stuff. This is what the billionaires and the 100 millionaires and the really rich people do. This is what I do. I didn't make this up. I was taught. And you can do this too. And if you own a home and you present this to your wife or husband or your significant other, whatever, whoever you have there, right? Maybe you're single, so you have to talk to yourself in the mirror, you know, these things. But I'm just trying to show you here, okay? It's common sense, but it takes a whole shift in your psyche in order for these things to work. And then you just have to reprogram yourself. But when you show your homeowners, you know, how to do this stuff right here, and if you own a business, and let's say you have 100, 200, 300 clients that you've done business with, you might want to reach out to them and say, hey, you know, you've done some business with us and we'd like to repay you back, and we'd like to show you some strategies of how you can pay for our services and other people can pay for more services from us, or how you can pay for more services from us and literally get it for free. If you saved $418,000, do you think that $80,000 roof cost him a dime? See it right here? Do I get it? That 82,000. Bam! You can barely see it up in the corner. I might have to remove my camera a little bit. That $82,000 goes away because he saved that in interest. You've been watching the Fly Mackey Show. I'm your host, Fly Mackey, and I can't believe we get to do this stuff. My mother would be saying, itty bitty, I can't believe you're doing this. Well, my parents would be proud, and your parents are going to be proud of you, and everyone else is going to be proud of you too when you learn how to do this and you become in charge of your own economy. Look for a roofer in your neighborhood, and when they come out, or whoever's knocking on your door, those guys and gals, listen, be nice to them. Whoever's knocking on your door, I don't care who it is, be nice. And when you invite somebody into your house, be nice to them, because it's your home. And you want, you know, the love and everything that comes from the goodness of you and your family to come through to the guests in your house. And when you do that, people are going to want to go above and beyond for you. It's hard for somebody to want to go above and beyond when you're mean and nasty. I shouldn't say you, but when somebody is mean and nasty, you know what I mean? So try your best to be as nice as possible. It's not that hard. All right, folks. Should I leave a little bit early, or should we look at some crypto? I think we don't really have time to look at all the crypto. I don't know if they're keeping me on. I don't know how long I'm going to be on. Look at this right here, $58,090. Bitcoin trading right now, $58,090 in a penny. Woo! Wow. Imagine that. Can we put the other? Here's Bitcoin right now trading at $58,114.70. It's the start of a new day here. I think I'm going to end my I asked them to keep me on till 1 a.m. Appreciate. Thank you so much, Houston and Corpus Christi. You know, we're in the sixth largest market in the entire country. Can you believe that I could have a channel like that in the sixth largest market in the entire United States? Houston, Texas. We love you guys. And Corpus Christi, Beaumont, Texas, College Station, one of my favorite cities, and don't forget Lake Charles, Louisiana. You guys and gals who are sitting in your living rooms watching us on TV, thank you so much. Appreciate you. And thank you from all over the world, you other guys that are watching. We're coming to a neighborhood near you, and hopefully we're going to add to our house flipping and our velocity banking and our credit stacking solutions. Uh, and I hope we're going to bring to you some roofing solutions too. That would be great. I met a great roofer here in Phoenix who is a businessman, a philanthropist, and just an overall great community that he's building around himself. We'll see you. Have a great night. God bless you. We'll see you tomorrow. Don't forget.